merong congruent yung value ng spirituality with the mission of the cooperative. And why some cooperatives grow and then later on fell? Pagkatapos magkaroon ng pera at saka nag-aaway-away. Because value. So, yung value to share, yung value to help each other, yun ang fundamentals ng cooperative.
First year namin, crash kagad. Wala na pong bayad eh. Wala na bayad. So, that was a very good lesson for us. And then, from there, we stood up and then we were able to get ourselves, and then doon na namin nakita na where good governance really tell the story. And from there, it took us some time to earn our first billion. After the first billion, madali na. Madali second billion.
Hi once again! Alam kong nabitin kayo dun sa first segment natin, no? And for the second segment, meron tayong mga questions actually na I myself would want to know yung na-raise natin dun sa first segment. So one, how can we help the micro cooperatives? How can we finance the housing cooperatives na na-identify natin dun sa data natin that they really might be needing help? So, aside from those na nalista ko, meron ding nagbabagang question. Gusto daw niyang masagot kasi kagagaling niya sa beautiful place of Batanes. And meron pa siyang question. And may we hear from Asik Luz, please?
I would just like to ask a question from the Human Services Cluster. 2 weeks ago, we were in Batanes with the regional team of Region 2. And we visited a stevedoring cooperative, and then they were asking me how will they comply with the requirement of the PPA management that they have to repair some of the areas of the pier, which they do not have the resources to do so. So I'd like to ask the group, Asikver, MJen, and Attorney Leah, to really look into the matter so that we can get back to this cooperative. As of this time, they are having difficulties in negotiating how to go about with the order. And the Human Services Cluster can really do something about their problem. So we can get back to them on how to deal with this particular issue. Thank you very much for this opportunity to air what is on the ground.
So, yon. So, narinig niyo, sir, yung question ni Asik Luz. Hirap siyang sagutin, no? Alam niya, paano natin matulungan? Paano maano ng Human Services Cluster yung ating stevedoring concern? So, Sir Asik, meron po ba tayong pwedeng masagot sa tanong na ang hirap?
Alam nyo, yung negosyo ng cooperative, dalawa yan, di ba? Dealing with members, dealing with non-members. And this time, these workers are dealing with non-member. So ito ang kausap niya, yung port authority. Same thing with labor service yan eh. Ang customer niya is a company. Maraming pinagpagawa ang kumpanya na madalas, alam mo, violation sa DOLE. With that, you need to be able to stand on your own. You need to know what is correct, what is not correct, what is legal, what is not legal. So, for these cooperatives that are experiencing this kind of thing, they need to know their legal right. So, for example, there is the stevedoring group. So, ano yung kontrata nila? They are into stevedoring services. Doon sila binabayaran. So, kung pinagagawa sa kanila isang bagay na hindi naman kasama sa kontrata nila, they must be able to stand on their own, know their legal rights, and not do what is not supposed to be done. So, kung babayaran naman sila doon, walang problema. Pero nga, ang reklamo nila, wala naman kaming resources, pinapagawa sa amin to. Pag ganun ng ganun, malulugi lang sila. So, we cannot survive as a cooperative if we cannot stand on our own. And I think that's one thing we need to learn. Cooperative business is similar to other business. You need to be firm, you need to stand on your own, and you cannot rely on others to help you. That's the problem, you know. As a business unit, you must be able to be self-sustaining. So what can we do? We can teach them their own legal rights. Ano ba yung how to interpret their contract, how to craft their contract. Ito yung pwedeng gawin ng CDA. But when there is a problem like this, ang unang defense sila. Dapat matuto sila, pwede natin silang tulungan, pero dapat on their own matuto sila kasi it will keep on coming into them. There will be a lot of challenges. In labor service, for example, hindi binabayaran for several months. Alam nyo, unaabot ng 300 million. Ang kausap nila, malalaking kumpanya. The bigger the company, mas mahirap maningil. But, anong ginagawa nila? They know their rights. Magdidemanda sila. Paano yan? Kliyente mo i-demanda mo. Wala kang magagawa eh. You need to defend your business. So, one thing we need to learn as a cooperative is to defend our business. In fact, bago tayo pumasok sa negosyo, dapat alam na natin kung ano yung pinapasok natin. Anyway, we have a training later on about entrepreneurship. So maybe we can answer first that question.
Sige. So, ang ganda nang na-mention ni Sir, ko-collaborate ang legal affairs dyan, Sir. Paano natin gawain yan? So, Sir, meron po ba kayong madagdag?
Yes. The good thing about our sector sa cooperative, it's built on a foundation of co-op education. Education talaga. Kaya unlike other sectors also, other sectors, tayo talaga education, continuing education, tuloy-tuloy yan. And then co-op education gives you an awareness of your rights. And this awareness gives you confidence. And such confidence will assist you in avoiding conflicts. So, pag alam nila na, hindi to he knows or he or she knows his or her right, medyo magtipto na yung hindi to pwedeng i-bully. So there are everywhere there are bullies. If you would like to be bullied, they will just oblige. So yun ang importante. That's why it's part of our program sa sector.
So, co-op education talaga. Tama naman, kasi kung alam mo naman yun, kaya mong ipaglaban ang iyong karapatan. So,
Yes.
Sir, I think meron ba tayong programs on education, ang cluster?
Yes, fortunately, yes.
Oo.
And we're talking about it with an MGen, ano? Ito yung collaboration namin. One education that we would like to really promote is education on accounting.
Accounting,
Ito kasi yung marami tayong cooperative that are not compliant, could not get COC. For a simple reason na hindi sila makagawa ng financial report. Wala silang financial report. So, in the last caravan, nakita ko sa Taguig, nagpadala pa si MJ ng 20 CPAs para tulungan yung mga co-op na makagawa ng financial report. Tapos nandun yung mga CPA na mag-audit. So, with that, one-stop shop, meron silang COC. Pero, hindi siya sustainable. Kasi paano, kung next year, wala na tayong pondo, we cannot do it anymore, wala na naman siyang COC.
Yeah.
So, sabi namin, kailangan matuto silang gumawa ng financial statement nila. Kailangan matuto silang mag-bookkeeping. And this is one project that we would like to introduce in human services sector, pero hindi ito one-day, two-day training.
Yeah.
Matagal ito. Para kang mag-aaral talaga on how to prepare financial report. So, ang first part nito is to create financial standard for each sector. So, kasi iba-ibang sector yan, iba-ibang gastos, iba-ibang financial standard. Pag inadapt natin yung ating ginagamit ngayon, babagsak lang sila. For example, nga sa labor service, normal yun, hindi ka binabayaran ng 2 months, 3 months. Sa housing, ganun din. Iba rin ang bayaran sa kanila. So, they need to have their own financial standard. We will announce it sa aming online meeting dito sa June. And ang target, magkaroon ng bawat isang sector, meron akong kausap na accountant, I-establish yung financial standard yung kasing labor service established na yan eh. Yung tatlo, established. Ang pinakamahirap workers. Yung workers, iba-ibang negosyo, iba-ibang standard. Pero yung housing at saka yung medical, medyo, yung health, medyo pwedeng pagsamahin. Pwedeng tigisa sila. So, July, I think 1, 2, 3, kanya-kanyang sector yung tatlo. Pag-uusapan kung paano sila magde-develop ng financial standard. But, yung accounting education, we are talking to a review school na pwedeng mag-provide ng accounting education, mga 2 months yan, para yung mismong tao ng cooperative, siya na ang makagawa ng kanyang financial report. So, yung audit, syempre, iba na yan. But, medyo magastos. So, ang plano namin, yung accommodation at saka yung food, sagot ng co-op. Then, we will look for a sponsor para magbayad doon sa teacher. So, with that, permanent na yung capability nila. Hindi na yan meron o wala. So, another education that we would like to advocate is yung entrepreneurial. So, meron din akong kausap dito. This is another 2 months. Ang partner naman dito is National University. But we're still working on it. Kahapon, nung Monday, tinext ko yung kausap ko. Sabi ko, alam mo, yung nangangailangan ng entrepreneurial education, which is 2 months, these are the cooperatives na kailangan nila yan, pero wala silang capability to pay. Sabi niya, we will find a way to do it. Ang mangyayari, entrepreneurial training, 2 months, then you will propose a project. So, kung anong project ng co-op mo, pag-aaralan yon. Ngayon, titingnan kung viable siya. Kung viable siya, they are willing to fund yung project. So, they will fund the project because naniniwala sila na kaya mo yung itakbo. Pagdating sa market, they will help you market it. They will fund it. So ano naman ang magiging arrangement? 30% sila, 70% yung co-op. Pag marunong na yung co-op, kaya na tumandig sa sarili niya, bibitawan sila. Iko-connect sila sa bangko kung kailangan pa nila ng pondo. So, saan manggagaling yung ibabayad doon sa entrepreneurial program? Doon na sa kikitain. So, ito yung wino-workout ko, but still, by the way, ang kausap ko rito is a successful Filipino entrepreneur na willing tumulong sa Pilipino. Hindi siya naka-base dito, pero willing siyang tumulong sa Pilipino. The other educational program that we would like to promote is yung basic cooperativism, meaning value-driven cooperativism. Hindi yung commercial. Kasi most of the people who want to join the co-op, they're looking at the commercial value. Yung mga nagtatayong leaders, commercial din yung titingnan. Hindi ganun ang co-op. Ang co-op is for sharing. Willingness to share and willingness to help. So, yung value na yun ang dapat na ma-inculcate sa mga tao. Kasi, pag merong trouble, atras na tayo. Pag kumita na, iba na yung nakikita natin. Doon natin kailangan yung value. Yung totoong value ng cooperative. So, that's another one. The last one is legal. All sectors need to know about the regulations that regulate their business. In housing, sad to say, yung member dinidemanda yung co-op. Yung same thing with labor, yung employee dinidemanda yung co-op. And most of the time, they don't know what the regulation is, no? Minsan yung property bibilin, nagkakasabit-sabit kasi hindi nila alam yung legal aspect. So we want to teach housing, labor and yung health ng kanya-kanyang legal rights. Kanya-kanyang legal regulations, everything. Because it's very important. So hindi pwedeng walang legal knowledge. So yun yung mga education na nilalatag namin. Accounting, meron na kaming kausap. Entrepreneur, meron na kaming kausap. Yung values, kasi co-op naman tayo, medyo madali tayong humanap dyan. Yung legal, we're looking at you.
Willing volunteer, sir. I'm saying yes na po. So yun, may na-mention siya, Sir Emjen, yung accounting, entrepreneurial, basic, cooperative values, and then legal. Anong comments niyo po dun, sir, sa na-mention yung mga plans?
Over and above that, yung upskilling, no? Yung mga upskilling din ng kung once naka-online na sila, then continuing education, upskilling of their of our personnel dito na involved. Number two is we need to scale kasi thousands we have so many thousand of non-compliant. Sayang yun. Na-organize mo na kuan mo pagkatapos sa watak-watak kasi kuan, and then they don't know how to be compliant. So we have to scale. So kailangan ng kwento magnitude na we have to appreciate the magnitude of the problem. And then one way of doing this is ma-cascade natin. So train the trainers muna, then tapos i-cascade natin and then sustain it. Kasi kung talaga we have to have a timetable on how to reduce to the barest minimum ang non-compliant natin kasi it doesn't tell on the sector, it doesn't tell on all of us. Kasi yung mga yung mga papararap na co-ops yung it gets a lot of
Creates bad image.
so leaves a bad mark.
Yeah.
Galing. Parang sabi ko kanina, big names, hindi lang yun, big minds. Ang mga naisip nila talagang yung yung sustainability, paano yung may increase yung reach, ma-upskill and upscale. Dalawang magdalawang terms din yun. And continuing education. So parang continuous yun. Imagine natin, kung yung 4 na fields na yun na na-mention ni Sir Asek, ma-continue yun, na parang maging continuing education yan. Oh, what a beautiful cooperative world it will be. Ayun, so yun for the education, sir. How about yun sa labor? Meron din bang doon? Or specific plans ba?
Yeah, actually yung sa labor, we are collaborating with DOLE. No? Last year, yung tripartite meeting nila, kasama na kami, no? yung co-op. So, meron silang tripartite meaning yung labor union, yung company, tapos yung DOLE. So, ini-invite nila kami. So, we got the schedule for the whole year. So, this year, humihingi uli kami para makapag-participate. Hindi pa sila nagbibigay. But what we are doing, in our meetings, we invite them, yung DOLE. So, actually, kagagaling ko lang sa Baguio, yung hindi naman, yung co-op doon, tinuruan ko ng employer-employee relationship. Kasi ang problema, dinidemanda sila noong sarili nilang member, na employee din naman nila. So, meron kasing perception, I don't know where it came from, pero meron perception na yung co-op, iba ang rule pagdating sa employer-employee relationship. No, that's a wrong perception kasi we only have one labor code. So, regardless kung kanino ka, kung sinong employer mo, basta meron ka employer-employee relationship, iisa lang ang rule. So, hindi pamilyar ang co-op. So, tinuruan namin sila doon. And the other speaker is from DOLE. So, alam mo, ito ang isang medyo magandang development. In labor service, noong panahon ng eleksyon nila Duterte, ang pangako ng lahat ng presidential candidates, tatanggalin ko ang contractualization. Di ba? Very big issue.
Endo.
Yeah, Endo. It did not happen because there was a misconception na mali. So, nung nalinawan sa kanila, actually, almost ready na yung batas. Pipirmahan na lang. Hindi pinirmahan ni President Duterte kasi may nag-advise sa kanya, babagsak ang economy pag pinirmahan mo yan. So, hindi yung pinirmahan because na-realize nila na mali pala yung perception na binigay sa kanila. But, the reality is, marami rin talagang hindi nakakaintindi ng employer-employee relationship. In our case, iba civil service tayo. Pero yung co-op, pag meron kang employee, dapat sundin mo yung labor code. So, in the case of labor service naman, ang mga nagmamanyan galing sa corporate. That's something different about labor service. Ito yung mga HR managers, ito yung mga corporate people na pumasok sa labor service. So, more or less may alam na sila. Pero, marami din pumasok dyan na hindi marunong, na meron lang opportunity. The other thing is, before, nung mag-umpisa ang labor service, it started with the wrong foot. Sabi niya, member ko yan, hindi ko yan employee. So, that gave us a bad name and nagalit sa atin yung DOLE. So, ngayon pa lang nag-uumpisa na i-recognize ng DOLE yung co-op. So, it's a good development, but for big labor service, alam na nila yan. Kumbaga, experience na sila. For small labor service, marami yan akong nakita, single client. Yung employee co-op, ginawang labor service. So yung kumpanya nila, employee sila doon, sila yung nagsaserve. Big violation.
Ah.
Yeah, one region I knew, puro ganun yung sitwasyon nila. And tinuruan namin sila, sabi namin, bitawan nyo yan kasi kawawa yung employer nyo dahil later on, pag nakita yan, i-absorb nila yan. Gagawin lang regular employee yung mga contractual. So, but generally, for labor service, medyo settled na sila doon.
So sir, meron ba kayong madagdag sa na-mention ni Sir Asek?
Ayun, very extensive na yun.
Sige.
Ay,
Oo,
kaya-
pero i-stress natin yun ha, ma-employer-employee
Employee
relationship.
relationship,
Oo, kasi
oo.
that's something na misconception talaga. And I think tama po kayo na kailangan din dun sa education din na
Yeah.
ma-inform sila dyan. Dun sa healthcare naman sir, meron ba kayong mga nakalatag dun na mga plano?
Yeah. Hindi lang sa healthcare, pero malaking tama sa healthcare. We are having this pipelining of workers na
Yeah.
project namin.
Mm.
So ano itong pipelining of workers? Junior high and senior high, well, first of all, survey ito. Kailangan ng partnership with LGU. Isa survey yung mga nag-aaral. Junior high, senior high, college. Saan ba kayo pupunta? Magtatapos ba kayo ng pag-aaral? Kung di kayo magtatapos, saan kayo magtatrabaho? Pag nagtapos kayo, ano yung pupuntahan nyo? Okay. And then, i-gather din yung information, yung data on the LGU, ano yung negosyo dyan, ano yung vacancies dyan. Pagka kasi may vacancy ang isang kumpanya, malaki ang gastos niyan. Babayad siya ng overtime, mahaba ang productivity niya. So, aalamin natin, ano yung mga vacancy niyan. So, meron tayong dalawang data, ano yung available workforce, ano yung vacancy, including the OFW, the returning OFW, at saka yung mga naghahanap ng trabaho. Kasi sa ngayon, ang data na meron tayo, yung nasa peso. Ito yung mga nagpupunta doon, naghahanap ng trabaho. Pero hindi pa yung kompleto. Kasi maraming naghahanap ng trabaho, hindi nagpupunta sa peso. So, i-gather natin yon and then ima-match natin. Ito yung sinasabi natin kanina na kulang, di ba? Yung matching. But, if the matching requires more competency, na wala sila. Kasi ang bilis ng technology. So, we will include TESDA in the program. Maturuan sila para ma-match nila yung requirement noong employer. So, pag na-match na yan, hindi na sila magte-training on the job. Marunong na sila pagpasok nila ron. And it will grow the economy of the LGU. Kasi halos lahat ng bakante meron ng pipill up. Now, regarding the pipelining of workers, yung health cooperatives natin, ang unang reklamo niyan palagi silang nawawalan ng tao. Bakit? Mahirap lumaban sa abroad. Pangalawa, maraming nagna-nurse, hindi naman sila nag-nurse para magtrabaho sa local. Ang tina-target nila talaga abroad, di ba? And that's a given reality. In fact, one time galing ako sa Malaysia, may nakasabay akong yung domestic helper. Kwentuhan kami, magkano bigayan dito? Malaysia, 38,000. 38,000. Eh, sabi niya, tinapos ko na nga yung kontrata ko rito. Bakit? Gusto kong lumipat sa Finland. Bakit Finland? Magkano bigayan doon? Almost 60.
Doble.
Almost 50, 60, ganyan. So, Filipinos are maybe born that way. But in health workers, malaking problema yan. Kasi ang hirap na mawalan ka ng health worker. So, with the pipeline of workers, ang gagawin natin, kung pupunta ka, kung ang direction mo, health service, itututo ka na namin dyan. So, alam na namin kung ano yung kailangan ng ospital, alam namin kung ilan, alam namin kung ano. Then, yung mga gusto namang mag-abroad, meron din tayong program na meron kaming kausap sa Australia na pwede natin silang dalhin doon nang hindi na sila gagastos. Lahat ng gastos mo, charge natin sa employer. So, timing lang. Gusto mo mag-abroad, huwag mong bibitawan yung trabaho mo na walang kapalit kasi meron naman tayong pipeline. So, kung merong papalit na sa'yo, tsaka ka pwedeng umalis. Ngayon, ang kapalit niyan, hindi ka nagagastos. Tsaka yung employer na pupuntahan mo, sigurado tayo. Hindi yung magbabaka sakali ka na maayos ba to o hindi. So, hindi ka rin maloloko, hindi ka magsasanla. So, yun yung ano. And we are starting this project sa Region 5. Kinausap na namin yung LGU, pinaliwanag na namin. Ang partner din dito, yung mga regional offices. So, regional office ng DOLE, regional office ng TESDA, and so on.
Ang ganda, power of collaboration ng mga iba't ibang agencies. At ang ano doon sa gate pa lang, sisimulan na nila with the end in mind. Tapos ang ano pa doon, yung hindi mabibrain drain, yung hindi mawawalan ang Pinas. Yun ang importante din sa lahat. So may mai-add po ba kayo doon, Sir Elgen?
walang kwan talaga, hindi na natin ma-avoid yung ambisyon na. Mga 2 years ago, yung Cebu Doctors University, they were training nurses na 3 to 4 sections lang. Ngayon, 25 sections. And yung additional sections doon, hindi yung para sa Pilipinas actually. So another way of looking at it also is yung tinatawag nilang, it's being offered now by UP Tacloban, ladderized. Pag hindi ka makatapos ng pagka-doktor, dito pa pwede kang
Pwede ka na magtrabaho.
pwede kang kasi pag there are different kind of nurses na may LPN, practical nurse, merong mga nurse aide, so merong merong mga cheering diyan na hanggang aabot ka na magiging doktor. But if you get derailed somewhere along the way, you'll never lose any competency. So yun ang isang kwan. And then yung pipelining, yung sinabi ni Asikbel, that's kwan. Talagang conscious, deliberate, at saka programmed input of our health professionals. Siguro if you mag-ambitional tayo na 10% babalik dito, that's already good enough. They're highly skilled na kwan. So ma-utilize talaga ng sector.
Galing.
Mm.
Ang galing. Sana bumalik din talaga nga sila.
Kasi, alam mo,
10% lang eh.
Oo,
Ambisyon
10%
natin,
lang na bumalik. Ano na yung ituturo nila
yan,
pagbalik
oo,
nila?
oo.
Yung added value?
Yes.
Galing.
ang isa kasing dapat tanggapin natin,
Oo.
which is good, no? Yung mga Pilipino hinahanap sa abroad.
Tama
Yan,
naman.
oo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yung sa Canada, hinahanap na yung mga nagtrabaho na sa fast food dito. Fast food workers na nanggaling sa Jollibee. Talaga ina-advertise na. So, nurse, it's all over YouTube.
Oo.
Na pati yung mga kings and presidents.
Yeah. oo. Mm. Kasi may yung bedside manners at saka empathy. Yung ang kwan
Meron sa Pinay.
Malaki ang diferensya.
So ang laki ng future ng healthcare cooperatives, no?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh. So
Sa ganung
kwan
aspeto.
talaga.
Yeah. Talaga, no? Yung hindi ma-reach ng ibang mga big si cooperative ang
Yeah, oo.
nag-a-address.
Hindi na pinapa.
Yung workers cooperatives, tinutulak namin sila doon sa food security projects. So, for example,
Sir, I'll look forward to that. Partial ako kasi taga doon ako.
ikaw ang contact person
Ikaw
dyan.
na.
Oo, kasi
Ikaw na.
kailangan natin
Mover,
yan.
ikaw mover doon.
Opo, ilaban po natin yan.
Oo.